Hi everyone. Um, I am Krishna. Welcome to CloudOps Boss. Today I will teaching Terraform with Azure DevOps demo project. In this project title, I will explain and teaching you provision a Windows virtual machine on Azure using to the Terraform and Azure DevOps pipelines. In this project description, this demo project shows how to provision a virtual machine in Azure using to the Terraform, fully automated through an Azure DevOps CI/CD pipelines. In this one, project designed for beginner, it's mainly infrastructure as a code using to the Terraform, Azure resource provisioning, Azure DevOps pipeline, and end-to-end workflow, code commit to the VM creation. I will explain. Architecture of overview. The project provisioning the following Azure resources like resource group creation, Azure virtual networking, subnet, public IP, networking interface, virtual Windows virtual machine. Mostly it will creating to provisioning to the resources in this Azure. Terraform state file is stored in remotely in Azure storage account backend. In this project and we I using and technologies tools Terraform 1.6 version, Azure Provider, Azure DevOps Pipeline YAML, Azure Resource Manager Service Connections, and self-hosted agent. Repository structure. We can discuss about to the repository structure. In repository structure, just we can create a project name. Azure VM Terraform ADO. In this case, we have a Azure pipeline and infra one folder created inside to the main provider variable Terraform TFE output. That would be will be discussion. This is the main basic repository structure and Terraform configuration provider. As is know, we will define to the Terraform uh, provider.tf file. In this case, we have defined Terraform version and what cloud we need to connect. Then we are mentioning to the provider.tf file and main.tf file. Main.tf file just we have created. It would be helping to the provisioning to the resources. This is the architecture resource and resource group RG and we'll see name and locations. This is the first we'll create a resource group. Then resource Azure Virtual Network, Azure Virtual Network, Azure Virtual Network, VNet. You can create a name and address, location, resource group name. What we want to create it is a and then and also subnet, Azure subnet and public IP, Azure subnet, public IP. Then we can go the NIC. Here nick is there and Azure networking interface. It's created a nickname, location, resource group name, and configuration, IP configuration values. We can internally or externally we will be define that one. Mainly we will come back to the Azure virtual mission. In this Azure virtual missions, you can give it to the Azure name like a virtual name, then resource group, location, size, what size you to required, and username once it is created to virtual machine in Azure portal that we need to connect to the like username and password we can define it here. Then OS disk what you are required and source image name that a publisher what the publisher offers SKU version everything we have defined in the main.tf file. Then we can variables.tf file. It's a input files what we want to require. Then we can create a input files and Azure DevOps pipeline. In Azure DevOps pipelines, mainly we have created a trigger and main. I mean, if you give it to the master or main, then image, I mean, host is the Ubuntu latest image name I have given and variable group that is coming from the read library. Then step checkout, it is a taking code from here checkout. It is a After that, steps task are there. Task one, first task Terraform installer. It's exactly version. What version we want to require, you can give it to here. Then will be pipeline it installed to the 1.66 and Terraform task. Next, Terraform init we can define, and also backend service connection ARM. This is the connectivity service connection we can created already. Uh, Previous video I have explained, and now it's a simple thing. Just you can go project settings in the service connection, new connection. Just you can establishing, then will be check and validate, save the service connection. Once it is establishing, you can using to the this my service connection too, and storage account, resource group name, then state file storage account also we are created, and state file, what is the state file name you can give it, and working directory I can give it to the build.store directory infra, it will be storing that one. Then plan, and as well as to the apply. Project workflow step by step we can see here. Developer push the code to the main branch. First developer it is taking, then code we can developers move to the code main branch, then Azure DevOps pipeline triggering automatically. Why how it is triggering, we are giving to the trigger master or main, then we can give it to the master, it will be automatically triggering. And host agent checking the repository, Terraform is installer, Terraform initializing backend in Azure storage account, then Terraform plan and validate to the infrastructure. Terraform apply provisioning the Windows in the Azure. Now it is explained to the theoretically. Now I will go to the code, and I will explain to the practically. Our goal is will provisioning to the VMs, virtual machine in the Azure using Terraform and CI/CD pipeline. Here we have a there, as we discussed in the provider, just you can give it to the values, it is connectivity to the cloud, then it be defined, and you can give it to the required values, subscription client ID, then main.tf file. In that main.tf file, how it is, earlier I explained, right? It was your resource group name and virtual networking, then subnet subnet values, then we can give it to the subnet, and public IP we can give it, then give to the interface, I mean network interface NIC values, and we'll be providing to the values, and mainly virtual machine what we want to require, virtual machine name, VM name, resource group name, location, size, what size, this value, where that means it will be taking for the values from here. Then variable.tf file we can define, then main.tf file calling the input values. It's like and also we are giving to the username password. Once it is provision, we can log into the virtual machine. That my our goal and aim is just for provisioning to the virtual machines along with these values, and OS disk along with it is a default value are there, and source image references, what is the publisher, what is the offer, what is, it just you can define these values, then we will be provisioning to the values. Then input values where I can pass it here, I mean this is the resource group name, and locations we need address space subnet, this public IP allocated skin nickname, VM name, then size, everything we are defined into the and Terraform TF file. Now it is going to the Azure ML pipeline. Now now I can check it to the Azure, I mean Azure resources. What is the Azure resources? Is the resource manager. Here we have a C resource group. In this resource group, see actually what is the existing one. Here we have defined, right, like in this RG demo 6 are there. Now I can change to the RG demo 7. I will created a resource group, and along with the NIC, public IP, virtual network, and virtual missions. Now I change this one. We can see. I did not find to the RG. Here we don't see the I mean RG up to 6 is there. It is not existing. Now I have a change into the resource group name 7. Then we can commit git add git commit like commit through Terraform code git push. Once git push it code is committed. Now we'll see your pipeline it triggering or not. Yes, just now it is triggering Terraform. It is provisioning to the Terraform uh, inside resource group. Just what we are given RG demo 7. This is the resource group name. Inside we want to create a five things like what we want to create it here like y- I will show you one by one. It is taking time for this one. Yeah, already is there and install is done and Terraform init is done. Initialization everything is done. Now it is plan also success. In plan what we want to do it here created nick created IP configuration will be created this value is created and totally every plan is completed. Here see plan what is the plan here added 6 is added 0 to change 0 to destroy. Now it is running to the Terraform plan. If I open this one you'll see just I can refresh resource group. Yes, RG demo 7 is created. Now we can see it is in progress, right? Still going on here. Yeah, see here, we have a resource manager are there. In resource manager, you can see resource RG demo 7. 7, it will be creating to the all. I mean, nick, public IP address, VNet, and my virtual machine. Then a disk is created. Now we can see the pipeline. It's a pipeline is successfully created. We can go there here. Is still is creating virtual machines. Creating virtual machine are there. We'll see how long. Then we can see here we have a network interface, public IP address, virtual network, and virtual machine. Still it is going on. Then a disk also created. Um, then we can check it here. Yes, now our pipeline is all are green, successfully created to the Terraform. Uh, Versions are there. Everything is created. Resource group applied successfully. It's showing added 6 and 0 changes. 0 output is we are giving to the output the Terraform, right? What is the resource group name? It is showing to the this resource group name that successfully is created. Now coming to our overview, what you did in this video, we have a created a virtual machine through Terraform and CI/CD file automatically. It's published. What it is happening? Resource group here, like resource group creation, virtual network creation, subnet, and public IP, network interface, and virtual machine. Everything what you are mentioned architecture, it's done it to the here like network interface, public IT, virtual network, virtual machine, and disk. Everything is the successfully provision from uh, using to the Terraform and CI/CD pipeline. That's it. I hope. Yeah. Thank you for watching.